Hi. Well, I'm not British myself, but I've been living in England for the past 2 years, and I suppose in a way you could say that I sort of grew up in a British culture because even when I wasn't living in England, I did visit England almost at least, quite often, at least once a year, since I was like 1 or 2 years old. So I do kind of know a bit about the British culture. One thing I've noticed about British people is that they love entertainment. They just love being entertained, and they're willing to pay a lot of money to get entertained, and they easily spend money on entertainment basically. It could be anything really, whether it's just going out clubbing every night or going to concerts or gigs or sports events, anything really, just as long as it's entertainment and it makes you happy. I've come to the realization that most people in England and Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland seem to spend quite a lot of money on, entertainment really. It's a very normal thing here in the UK for a university student to go out clubbing, like 5 times a week. Whereas, because I lived in Austria for a while, and I used to live in Switzerland when I was younger. It's not as common in those countries to see people going out clubbing every night or going to concerts every weekend or at once a month. Even once a month is quite a lot for some people. So yeah, I think entertainment is very much important to British people, and the British people just tend to spend a lot on entertainment, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why music and the music business is so successful in the UK, and like bands and artists kind of sell out concerts and venues all the time here because people are willing to pay the money to go to these shows. And I remember I used to go to, as I said, and I used to live in Austria, and I used to go to an American school there in Austria, and a lot of my friends back there, when I suggested them, asked them if they wanted to go to a concert with me or something, they were all a bit, not that they didn't want to go, but they didn't like spending money as easily as British people do. Whereas, for example, here when I go out to concert with my friends, if I tell them about a concert or whatever, if somebody likes an artist or a band or really wants to see them, or like a football team or whatever, they just pay the money for it, however much it is, and they just go to the event because they enjoy being entertained. And I don't know, I suppose in a way they live in the moment. They love kind of living each day and making the most of every day and every week, instead of being a bit more responsible, I suppose, and saving up for the future. I think one other big part of the British culture is reality TV shows. I know this may sound a bit stupid, but I mean shows such as The X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, Big Brother, The Apprentice, all these shows really, Dancing on Ice, Strictly Come Dancing, all these shows are basically the most popular shows on UK television, and people watch them. Even if sometimes you see people on the streets kind of complaining about how reality TV is taking over or whatever, people still watch it, obviously, because they're all very popular shows and they keep going on every year, and they are just everywhere really. And when the show like The X Factor starts, for example, you can't, you hear about it everywhere you go basically. You can go to a shop and people just start talking about it randomly, and it's everywhere in the newspapers and magazines. It's the same with any other reality show really. And I think again that's probably one of the other big parts of British culture, because almost everyone in the UK kind of follows at least one reality TV show, even though they might not want to admit it. Another part of the British culture, I think, is the diversity of it, definitely. In London specifically, there are just so many different cultures and backgrounds. You go out and you see so many different people from all these different cultures and backgrounds and religions, and it's a really cool thing, I think, to have such a diverse culture and see so many people from all these different places every day. And I think that's definitely a big part of the British culture, and people have learned to accept that. Obviously there's always going to be people who don't like that and support the BNP or whatever, and I don't have anything against those people, but most people tend to love the diversity that they see in the UK, and it's really nice, I think. In the past 2 years I've been living in London, I've met people from all sorts of different backgrounds. Most of them call themselves British because they were born here or they were raised here, but I've got the chance to learn a lot about different cultures in a way, even though it's all one culture, it's the British culture. you still get to learn a bit more about kind of different backgrounds, I suppose, of different people, which I think is really cool. And yeah, I think that's about it really. There's obviously going to be all the stereotypical stuff, such as, you know, saying British people love drinking tea, which is in fact true, and most of my British friends love drinking tea. I don't, but then again, I'm not actually British. But yeah, most people do love drinking tea. It's just a normal thing for them to do. It's just like everyday life. And then, you know, things like it rains all the time, which is again true, even though I don't like saying that it is true, but it is actually true. It rains almost every day, unfortunately. And I used to love the rain when I lived in Austria, because it doesn't rain quite as much there. But since I've moved here, it's just like it rains so constantly that I'm starting to get sick of it a bit. I still do like the smell of rain though. And yeah, that's it really. I'm actually Austrian-Iranian. I was born in Switzerland. I would consider myself European because I've spent most of my life in Europe. But I'm not British in particular. But I've got a lot of British friends, a lot of some British relatives and family. So yeah, I hope that helped a bit. I may be wrong in some of the things I said, but it's just my opinion. So yeah, bye.